at the Redwood National and State Parks in Humboldt County, California, and we're going forest bathing. This is a therapeutic practice using all 5 senses to go super slow through the forest and learn about the redwoods and soak up the nature. Let's go check it out. We just arrived at the Prairie Creek Visitor Center. It's May the 4th. May the forest be with you. And this is where they filmed Star Wars Return of the Jedi in 1983. To get the best experience, we're traveling with a private guide, Justin Legge, who is an experienced professional naturalist in the Humboldt Redwoods.
Right.
These forests are a lot more about moisture
Yeah.
and floods.
Right.
Forest bathing is a sensory experience, and we start with sound. We hear the sounds of walking on mud and rain droplets falling from the canopy treetops. And then suddenly, rushing water as we come into an impasse.
Big leaf maple.
Woo!
Yeah.
Cute.
But the cool thing about the redwood forest, or here at Prairie Creek at least, is we'll have something that's ready usually throughout the year.
The next sense is sight. We notice tons of beautiful florals, insects, including the banana slug, and if you look closely enough, you might even spot a cone from a redwood, which is surprisingly small.
Redwood cone, they're just about that size of a
So
grape or your
small.
thumb or something.
Next, our guide discusses the age of the trees and why it's so difficult to predict exactly how old they are.
Reconnect to the main trunks,
Right.
and then after like 1,000 years, everything just merges and fuses
Yeah.
together. So when you try to analyze what's happening inside the trunk, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up.
Right. Right.
So anytime you hear how old a redwood is, and also how big a redwood is in terms of weight,
Right.
you always want to say at least. A redwood is at least
2,500 years
Mhm.
old.
or it's at least this many pounds, because they're all kind of guesstimates.
Next, our guide points out how redwood trees have a unique regenerative nature, and they're resistant to fire and can even recover from it. We watch some examples on some burnt trees that we find in the forest.
Clones after the tree fell. So anytime a redwood gets stressed out, they try to reclone themselves, including when they fall onto the ground, they'll just shoot up new sprouts.
Right.
And so sometimes, especially on Avenue of the Giants, when you're
Yeah.
walking through the forest, what you
Yeah.
should look for are straight lines, like pretty straight lines of trees.
Yeah.
And what you might be looking at is a really old tree that lived and fell and then sprouted, cloned itself all up and down its trunk.
Whoa, you're inside a tree.
But this is called leather fern, California polypody. It's really thick if you're brave enough to touch one of the leaves.
So this is similar to scuba diving. However, you scuba dive to the top instead of to the bottom. And they do that through skywalking to visit the top and the canopy of the trees.
Right.
And we're dreaming about what the scuba divers get to go underwater and see, but in the redwoods, it's up instead of down. So as the trees get old and stuff happens that makes these weird cathedrals and structures, it makes platforms that enable these soil gardens to start growing. And then once some leaf matter gets up there, ferns don't reproduce with seeds, they reproduce with spores. So ferns actually evolved before plants were making seeds. So once these are just dry enough, they kind of just poof, float off like pollen. and the spores of the ferns will land up there, start to put some roots down, start to break the leaf matter into soil. So check it out, right? It takes the tree 1,000 years to get big. The tree has to have some sort of disturbance. Then it's going to take her another 1,000 years to make a structure up there. Then hundreds of years for some soil to start getting started.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Majestic. A kind of drizzly day, and there's nobody around except us.
It made its own staircase.
But just the weird genetic things that redwoods can do is a little bit bonkers.
He's lost within the tree. You look like an Ewok.
Covered and speckled in lichens, different greens and whites and yellows.
It's wild.
Vibes.
Are you in Endor?
I'm in Endor right now. We're just missing the Ewoks and the Imperial forces.
They're ziplining somewhere. After spending quite a bit of time relishing in our sense of sight and learning about the different features of redwoods, it's now time to move on to the sense of touch. Throughout the forest, we notice these little yellow creatures called banana slugs that thrive in the moist, shady atmosphere. Nothing like little slime. Oh, look at those little antlers.
Isn't that cute? So the two on top are his eyeballs.
The slime on this guy is intense. It also serves as its defense mechanism against predators.
Redwood trees, one of the big messages we like to share, and that's really cute about this forest. The United States of America was founded under the principle of unity, right? United States.
Mm-hmm.
Says on the dollar bill, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, or with unity comes strength. So redwood trees have some of the most shallow root systems of any trees on Earth. But what they do is they go out around, they spin around. So the roots of a redwoods go out as far as they are tall, 300 feet around themselves. So everybody in this forest is quite literally holding hands with each other. So super shallow roots, the only way they can stand and live so tall for so long is physically supporting each other underground. So this is upper canopy redwood branches. These are their little pollen cones. So the upper canopy redwood branches, they close off all their pores so that they're not losing too much moisture way up there. That's what they told Professor Stephen Salette in the early 2000s, was that there's no gardens up there. You didn't see anything. There's nothing up there. It's too hot. It's too dry. Didn't you know redwoods even have a different type of leaf structure? It's so hot and dry up there. So all they're trying to do is block off their pores so they're not losing so much moisture up there. Whereas on the underside of a normal redwood leaf, flat spray, open leaf, you can see those white lines down there.
Next, after learning about the different types of leaf structures, it's time to move on to taste. And we taste the raindrops falling from 300 feet high. Next on this forest bathing experience, it's time to take a deep breath. It's time for scent, possibly the best part of the forest. The woodsy, mossy smell is unlike anything you've ever experienced. Next, we reach a very special big tree. The coordinates are not on a map, but our guide shows us the very tree featured on the cover of National Geographic. It took some clever photography to stitch together 6 photos of this giant tree.
6 pictures that the guy stitched together.
That is wild.
Professor Salette is in the bottom 1, 2, 3 times. That's his wife.
Oh my gosh, look.
They
wife
met
and a
studying redwoods.
They're skywalking.
He proposed to her up in a tree.
Oh,
So appropriate.
Wow.
Mother other trees like Iluvatar, she's producing so much through photosynthesis, collecting so much energy throughout the day. She actually gives away, pushes out through her root system to her brethren, her sisters, her brothers around her, 30% of her daily energy out of her roots to the forest around her.
Basking under this giant mother tree, we feel as small as ants, and we also feel as if we transported back in time to a primeval forest. This forest has captured the hearts and minds of many people, including film goers, especially the Star Wars franchise. We leave with a few mementos from the gift shop and the everlasting therapeutic effects of forest bathing. Thank you to our guide, Justin Legge, and Visit Humboldt County for helping to make this video possible. And if you'd like to go on a magical tour of the Redwoods with a guide, visit the link in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for many more travel videos.